There have been concerns in our country about justice and equity, especially following the death of George Floyd and other African Americans at the hands of police. And we stand with the African American community in mourning the loss of human life and in our demand for justice for all in this country. This past week, there have been 3 additional events related to justice and equity impacting a different population, this time the LGBTQ community. First, the Department of Health and Human Services announced that they are planning on repealing the prohibition from insurance companies, hospitals, and doctors from discriminating against individuals based on race, gender, and gender identity. Now, why they would take this action when we all know, honestly, that individuals who are LGBTQ or transgender experience a greater amount of discrimination than other individuals in our society. We know that approximately 40% of transgender individuals will attempt to commit suicide. Why? Because of experiences of harassment, discrimination, and abuse. How do we know that those factors impact transgender individuals? Well, the Department of Health and Human Services themselves, that same body that wants to repeal protections against this population, they themselves admit that these are risk factors for LGBTQ and transgender individuals. The second important event this past week is that the United States Supreme Court has ruled that employers cannot discriminate against their employees based on sexual orientation or sexual identity. So that means that basically individuals can be discriminated against by their doctors or the hospital, but those same individuals couldn't be discriminated against by their employers. The third important event is that the US Supreme Court has determined that DACA, the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, is not going to be repealed. That means hundreds of thousands of immigrant children brought to this country by their parents will not face risk of deportation. So we are a country that is struggling with issues of race and equity of all kinds. And it's frustrating for many of us that we're not further ahead than we are right now. Personally, I am pleased at least with the fact that we're struggling with these issues, that we're having these conversations, and that even though we sometimes seem to take a step or two backwards, by and large, we are moving forward.